Right, folks, a very, very, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Brew of the Day with your brew for the day. But they call me Kago in the city, and of course, I am your breakfast host every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I fly alongside the ever so lovely, ever so elegant Roberta Media. Very, very good morning to you, Roberta.
Hey,
What's going on?
I don't know, man. I just don't know what's going on. I'm just like so tired. I think I said this to you beginning of mid-February. I just said to you what I started to feel so tired. Because December, I didn't really feel that exhaustion. I think I felt it for about a week and then I was fine after resting.
Got you.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just so tired.
I mean, your last name is Akanyang, so it makes a lot of sense. It's a beautiful day, Roberta. You know, it's a brand new week as well. And we're going to be talking to a couple of people this morning. Actually, we're going to talk to one person specifically, a gentleman MODISA MAPHANYANE. He owns a business that I think I really want to get into. He has a car hire business. And so I don't know about you, Roberta, but I'm telling you ways with which I can make a passive income. And so a couple of years ago, actually, I think I was working for this auctioneering house, and so we used to auction vehicles. They know what it was, secondhand or salvage.
Are you the one who did the talking?
No, unfortunately, I never got around to. You mean the auction?
Yeah,
I never got around to that.
I
used to do their numbers for them. So unfortunately, or fortunately for me at the time, I was a youngster. I was working my first job. I just bought a super bike. I was living really, really fast. So I got an opportunity to buy a vehicle. There was a Toyota Corolla and what it came about, and I bought it for like 12 grand.
Oh, wow.
And then what I decided to do is I've got a family member. So I'm like, listen, here you go. Here's a vehicle. I know that you've got a cab. A taxi. So take the vehicle and give me $1,000 a week. And he's like, hey, sweet king, I'm not sure if I can do $1,000 a week. Maybe I hit about 700, 750. Big. I'm like, you know what? What petrol 750 is fine. And unfortunately, you know, first week, my dad said, I think he about 500. Second week, it's 400. I'm like, my man, this wasn't really what we agreed to.
Yeah.
So, and then unfortunately, like a couple of weeks later, I decided, listen, for the sake of our relationship, I'm going to have to take this vehicle back. And then I decided to sell it. I don't know why I decided to sell it, but I decided to sell it. But it was a great way of making money without doing a single thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be talking to MODISA MAPHANYANE, who's the owner of the business.
You might just get back into the business.
I'm really thinking that, you know what, actually, if you've got a loose 20, 30K, invest one of these things and big it's $1,000. That's $4,000 a month. They're doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, true that.
So it's a conversation that I think is worth exploring, and it's also just it's a simple enough business model that I think as long as your vehicle is insured, as long as you've got a track on the vehicle, know where the vehicle is going.
Talk about insurance.
I think we shall.
Yeah, and you know, I think these past floods
yeah.
reminded people that insurance is very important.
Very true.
Yeah.
So that's a conversation that we're going to be having a little bit later on with MODISA MAPHANYANE. Following conversation of what me and Roberta are going to be talking about workplace and as well as conflict resolutions. It's something that you can't avoid. You know, where you like it or you don't. At some point or another.
If you spend time with somebody, you're bound to have some kind of conflict.
There's always a breaking point with every single person. So we're going to be talking about that, especially when it comes to the workplace and how to resolve it and the level of petty that I really am as a person. So we're going to be talking about that in just a bit. Anyway, Roberta, where do we find you on social media for the show?
Roberta Media, all social media platforms, but you can also find the show at Brew of the Day.
How is your campaign coming along in the gas cell? I know that you said it's back on track. How's that going?
It's very hard. I need a team. I'm working on putting a team together.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, you know, I had a friend who was supposed to hire, and I was willing to pay them. So I'm actually at a point where now, at the time I could have paid them more.
Gotcha.
Now I can't pay them as much. So it's very tricky business. I'm trying to find my way about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also taking in volunteers. Okay. I know a lot of people, you know, have begged me to volunteer for this, nice. But I haven't opened up for that yet because I haven't really, you know, formalized the structure. Yeah, so that's what we're doing.
Stuff. I am on Twitter at CallMeKago. Drop me a follow, and I'll follow you right back. A very, very, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome
to Brew of the Day.
Experience purity in every drop with Kgamalete Aqualife, perfectly packaged for every need. Contact us at 76760205 or email at okhomari92@gmail.com to order your premium water today. Kgamalete Aqualife, No order is too big for us.
Right, folks, my next guest this morning is a gentleman. He is the CEO of a business called Mobi Rides, and of course, as the name suggests, it surrounds itself around and his name is MODISA MAPHANYANE. Very, very good morning to you, Mo, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Kego. It's a pleasure, always a pleasure to see you.
Fantastic stuff, Mr. MAPHANYANE. I think for the most part, people know you as you're an advertising man. So for somebody who's not too familiar with your name, tell me a little bit about yourself and talk about your background in terms of how we came to be the person who you are today. Tell me about yourself.
Okay, so something that a few people know, not very many, is that I'm a 7-time founder. So I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Right.
My first business was established in 2004.
Okay.
And that was a transit advertising platform called Mass Promotions.
Okay.
So we actually developed the current formats that are being used in transit advertising. Transit advertising, we're talking about advertising on public transport vehicles. So the combis, the buses. We never got to trains, unfortunately. It would have been really cool.
That would have been very cool.
So I did that. I did that for many years, and that's how I got into advertising. Got into media. But subsequent to that, I did other things. You know, I regisa morogo, regisa digese, dikoloi tsone tsele tsene di taboga, di thula batho, unfortunately. I won't say that, but yeah. You know, and then I had a business also that was in the airtime space.
Okay.
So a big passion of mine has always been, and even it was the same thing with the transit advertising, was benefiting or trying to create benefit and revenue generation opportunities for informal sector.
Nice.
So with the airtime business, we established a method and a process for distribution of airtime at the time that was groundbreaking, and that allowed us to do some really interesting things. And that business, we took it to Mozambique as well.
Oh, very nice.
But unfortunately, we had an issue, which is we ran into funding issues.
Got you.
So that is a big issue that we have in the country. But then I subsequently went back into advertising. Advertising broke my heart.
I feel like advertising has got a bit of a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, it broke my heart. Breaks my heart continuously. Because the biggest problem with advertising in this country is getting paid. You know?
Man.
Getting paid is a challenge. But I was with JC Decor for 4 years. JC Decor is the global, the #1 outdoor media company in the world.
Buddy Billboard.
Guys, Buddy Billboard, 84 countries. So I was the sales manager, sales and marketing manager for Botswana.
Nice.
And that was a wonderful experience, because actually that was a very conscious decision that I took to go back into full-time employment. Because one of the things that I realized when I was running my businesses is that I'm very good at starting businesses.
Yeah.
But the challenge that I had was that I would be able to grow the business to a certain point and then not further than that.
Got you.
So I wanted to find out, and from a company, or to be involved with a company that can scale to 84 countries.
Got you.
And do that successfully. You know, to try and understand how do they do that.
Okay, so you were playing a little bit of corporate espionage.
Corporate espionage. I went there to do work, mister. But you know, if you're gonna go into any role, I believe very strongly, anything that you do as a human being, you should be going in to learn. You know, it's not about the paycheck. For me, it's never been about the paycheck. My wife hates that, but it's the truth. It's always been about, what can I learn? How do I grow? You know, so continuous learning is something that's a huge passion of mine. I believe everybody should be continuously learning. And then that's how now I ended up getting into innovation, which is where we are. And once again, we're trying to solve for an issue which is in the informal sector. So we've got a platform. The company is called Mobi Rides. Our platform is also called Mobi Rides. And it's a tech solution, basically, where we're trying to connect people who have vehicles that they want to rent out with people who'd like to rent vehicles, or who rent vehicles regularly, you know. So that's something that it took me about 4 years of research. I did about 4 years of research with that. And then I left my job at JC Decor in February last year to try and put that together and build that platform. You know? So that's what we've managed to do.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
MAPHANYANE, talk to me about the upkeep, or rather just the uptake in terms of the market. You know, Botswana as a country, you know, sometimes we're slow to picking up new products and services. Generally, how is the reception in terms of, you know, Mobi Rights as a platform? How's the uptake?
So we only began with technology platforms. Something that I've got to learn, and I believe is so fundamental and so crucial. With technology platforms, everything really works stage by stage and step by step. Okay, so we only started operating fully in the market, and I won't even say fully, partially in the market in January. Okay. January of this year.
This is 2 months ago.
This is 2 months ago.
Yeah.
You know, so prior to that, we were building the platform, and then more importantly, we were in various incubators. We were in the Mascom Boost Up incubator. We did that last year. We came second at the nationals, and we came fifth at the regionals. And the regionals was Botswana, South Africa, Namibia, Zambia. You know, so that for me and for the company as part of the process, it was what's called a validation process. So we were showing that actually there's interest in this,